Today in the garden, it's a bit of everything. Welcome to PDX Garden Home here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm working through a full stretch of spring tasks, moving between soil, seedlings, and the beds as the season begins to take shape. I'll start at the back of the truck, working through a fresh yard of potting mix, filling buckets, getting material ready for what's yet to come. Then it's into the details, sowing flaxseed into cell trays, small beginnings that will carry forward into the garden. I'm planting a couple of raspberry canes, another round of strawberries, this time hood varieties, and out in the garden beds, vegetables are settling into their place for the season ahead. Finally, back at the bench, the snapdragons are ready to move and potting them into 4-inch containers, giving them a space they need to grow on. It's one of those days in our cool maritime climate where there always seems to be another job waiting. I'm simply going to take it one step at a time here. So come along with me. Well, I have a yard of potting mix here that I got from Grimm's Fuel. That's where I get most of all my kind of landscaping products like that. And I've used this stuff for years. It works good. I've even used it in my indoor nursery. That's not necessarily the most advisable thing to do, but because it's not intended for indoor nursery, not because there's anything particularly wrong with it, but it works fine. And I think I might actually do that when I pot up the tomatoes this year. When I use it for indoor nursery, I do add more of the perlite to it. I find perlite's more available in my area than vermiculite. And well, more available and more cost effective, I should say. But that's just perlite's these kind of little things here that are used, these little nuggets that are used for creating space within the soil, aeration within the mix essentially. So anyway, yeah, I've got a lot of pots to fill. I don't know if this will even be enough for everything that I have to fill ultimately, but I'm sure we'll get through all of this. So I'm gonna get to it. I like using this short, smaller shovel head because it fits right within the width of a bucket. And I'm going to be filling small pots and big pots, but with these smaller pots, this is one of my 3-gallon buckets. I'm going to stack these over by the potting bench, so I'll have a set of pots ready to go. And I'm filling it to the brim because once it's filled with water, it's going to compact it down. Wait till I have a second one just so that my journey is most productive. I can hold one in each hand. Okay, these two are ready to go. I know what you're thinking. I should use a bigger shovel. Well, you know what? The other thing this shovel is nice on is it's nice on my back. It's pretty low, pretty lightweight. And after I've been shoveling a lot for my retaining wall project, doing some lightweight shoveling with this tool is a nice break. I'm only going to be able to haul one of these at a time. I was ambitious and thought maybe I would stack them and haul them, but just the weight and just because I'm tired and a weakling, I'm gonna do just one at a time here. I've planted flax before. I planted blue flax and red flax, and this is a multi-colored blend of various flax. I'm growing them again for interest, for some decoration. They're small flowers, but they do in fact produce the flax seed, which you can chew on, or I guess if you grew enough, you could make stuff from it. But that's not my point. My point is just to add that interest to the garden and do something fun here. So I'm gonna see how many I can put in here. I also have some leftover blue flax from last year, so I may put some of that in here too. Okay, and let me read the planting guidance here. Light age germination, press into soil surface. Okay, so this is not the kind that I want to bury. So I'll just make a little indentation with my fingers here. Little bed for these seeds to lay on. And these are very small seedlings when I've grown them in the past. So I'll be doing 2 or 3 seeds per cell here. These are very small, they're very difficult to, I'm getting 4 in some of these spots here, but that's fine. Well, there's a lot there. I dropped like 6 in there, dang it. Okay, I got everything except for one last one, so I'm gonna throw some of the blue ones in there real quick. These are left over from prior year. This is the blue and breezy flax. And so I'll just put that in this last, the seeds are darker there. Okay, that's it. So all the flax I can do. I don't really have room for even all this, probably. But this won't be a lot. Flax doesn't take up that much room, and it can go, as a decorative, it can just go in a pot. Pots. Okay, now I'm going to just mist some water on there. I don't want to displace the seeds, but I do want to make sure it's got kind of, that's working. I can see the seeds aren't moving, they're fine. And I'm getting them nice and wet there, so that's good. Okay, so what I'm up to here is I'm planting a couple of raspberry canes. I got some raspberry canes from Costco a couple of weeks ago and failed to get them planted out. And again, kind of the theme of the day is putting things in a holding pattern. So that's a lot to go into only a 3-gallon bucket, but I need to kind of hold it somewhere for now because I'm just not ready to actually plant it anywhere permanently. So I'm gonna drop it in here and see how that survives for the season. So here's what the root looks like. So it's really quite a root already. I didn't realize how big it was already. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a go, putting it in here, and hope it does as well as it can in that space for now. Get some dirt out of the way so I can. Okay, I am doing another round of strawberries here. I'm gonna pull these plants out, see how many we actually have in this pot. Okay, so we've got 1. These are hood strawberries. This is a June bearing strawberry. Hood's very popular local variety. Produces pretty sweet berries. I like them personally as well. So when I saw them specifically, I was like, yes, I need to get those. I know there's lots of people when they go to the farmers markets locally, they will look for specifically the hood strawberries. Okay, let's get them in here. All right. Another strawberry pot planted. I'm gonna plant some veggies back over here. My plan is always to interplant. So I found my area. Let me show you. So here you can see the area that I am planning to plant the veggies in. And I'll come in here with my dibbler and make some holes. I'll put some fertilizer. I dropped some fertilizer on the ground right here. So I will just spread some of that around the holes. You'll see what I do there. I don't have a plan for like, oh, I'm gonna plant all broccoli here or all onions or something like that, because the way I typically do the veggies is that I interplant multiple things. So I'm gonna make my holes, put in the fertilizer. My spacing's roughly about the same for most of my veggies that I got going on right now. So with spacing, technically, if you look at the packets or you look at advice about different veggies, you'll get different spacing ideas or requirements. And obviously some things are gonna have to have different spacing, or I just know they should have different spacing just because their size. For example, a zucchini and a bulb onion are going to be spaced a lot differently because the zucchini is just going to take up a lot more room, kind of thing, right? So I'm not really following any like real guidance as to, oh, you're supposed to space these exactly this amount. And some of you may know some of that guidance and realize that I'm not necessarily following that. I just kind of know how much space these things will take, or how much space I want them to take, kind of thing. So that's what you'll see me doing here. I'm gonna start with picking out some onions. So I've got some Walla Walla onions here. I'll take a couple of those. And then, we've got spinach here. I don't really want to put spinach over there though. Some arugula, some beets. These are beets as well. These are bigger beets, more ready. I'll take one of these over here. We'll put some beets over there. And then we've got some Napa cabbage, but it looks like some of this is already bolting, so I'm not going to try to plant it. I'll come back and scrap that Napa cabbage. I have some of the bok choy that I'm hoping will ultimately work, so I'll put the bok choy in here. So that's 3 different kinds, but I might throw something else in there. Now, the bok choy and like a kale or a bok choy is actually kind of a brassica, so the bok choy, the kale, and the broccoli have kind of similar attributes to each other, but I've got some romaine lettuce here, so I'm gonna give that a go. I don't know if that's all enough, but could be. Bok choy, onions, beets, lettuce. I didn't have that many spots over there, so let's go see how to decorate that area. I already have some broccoli right here, so I'm gonna put some onions next here. Although I do have garlic in between it, so there's a certain amount of this that's just kind of not precise. Again, nothing I do is intended to be precise, and actually Whoops, I didn't notice that, but I actually have onions right there. So you know what I'm gonna put there is some of the romaine lettuce. Okay, so I've got two romaines there. Slug bait if I ever saw it, right? But I'm gonna do 3 beets. I'm going to give myself some brassicas again, so I'll do some bok choy. Got 2 in 1 here, so let's figure out which one or both. Yeah, they're both okay. We'll do that there. Okay. Now I'm gonna do some of these Walla Walla onions. That's it. That's all the holes I have. So yeah, I got ambitious here, but that's all the space I have right there till I tackle another space as I walk down this way. I'm surely will do some more, but that's it for now. Okay, what I have here are snapdragons. This is a bit unusual in terms of my process with snapdragons. Usually I grow these like I do my other seedlings under lights in the garage, and then I would harden off and put straight into their final places. And often in the cell trays, the snapdragons get to be about that tall when I've done that. But I didn't put these in the garage. I forget why. There was something going on where maybe I didn't have all my lights set up or whatever. I was running out of room, and so I thought, well, snapdragons are supposed to be somewhat cold tolerant. Why don't I just go ahead and, after I've seeded them, why don't I just go ahead and put them outside and let me see if they'll germinate that way. And so I did that, I think mid to late February, and it took a while for them to germinate. And at first I thought it totally failed, but they did in fact germinate, and they've been growing since then. But now, as it's getting warmer and they're hitting a lot of direct sun, they're sitting out there and these trays are drying up pretty quickly. So I'm transplanting them into the 4-inch pots. I'm potting them up here to give them more time before I put them into their final place. I'm also running out of room a little bit in the garden because I've got the whole east garden tore up for my retaining wall project. So I'm kind of putting a lot of things kind of in holding places until I can hopefully get that project finished and have more garden space, or otherwise get some more pots and things kind of placed around that I can then use. So this is just preserving my palette, getting my palette in place that I can use when I'm ready for it. And I'm not ready for it right now. So I'm going to pot these up here. I've already got my soil in here. I put some fertilizer in there as well. So this is just taking them out of the cell trays, plopping them in, and away we go. I'm going to glove up for this one just because it'll be a bit messy. With the beds planted, the berries set in, and the snapdragons given a bit more room to grow, it feels like the garden has moved forward today. Not in a dramatic way, just the quiet, steady way that gardens tend to. A bucket of soil here, a tray of seedlings there, each small task adding up to something larger over time. And in this cool maritime climate, it's often these in-between days where a bit of everything has to get done, and that's what's going to shape the season ahead. If you find yourself working through a day like this in your own garden, just take it one step at a time. It all adds up. Thanks for gardening with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.